Geich satini likat Johan gunalchish hati adi hatu yuke which in chasati ya yagita deichyagi ya hin tanach kayani desi jinkat kada kunyo dis. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for coming here. It's Tuesday, March 14th. It's already week 10, day 1 of our class. And we're happy to be with you again today. We'll open our class with a little bit of follow-up from last Friday. We were really lucky to have Klinote Marsha Hotch here, and she shared with us about her experience learning and speaking Tlingit, some of the regional or dialect differences you'll hear in the Chilkat and Haines area. And she shared some really cool information. So Shaksani Keek and I were just talking about one of the place names that she mentioned. So we'll see if you have questions or comments about that. And then we'll do our dialogue activity. We'll continue making comics, but to break it up a little bit, we'll actually do some video study first. And I'll share with you some pointers that I use when I'm watching videos of fluent elders speaking to interact with the video and help me learn. So before we jump in, were there any questions or comments from the class? Skinyatla.
Yake Satini. I
What's
was wondering, you just had those notes up from Friday, if I could just capture those real quick. Just a couple of small things.
Yeah, so these are notes I just took while Shaksani Keek and I were talking. And we were trying to figure out the place name that Koneo Tim mentioned. It's kind of anglicized to Yandustucky, I think. And so we were trying to think of, okay, Shaksani Keek shared the verb root tak is like when you use a pole and you're in your boat.
Yeah.
And so we were trying to think, how does that dus fit in there? And Shaksani Keek, did you want to share anything else about it?
Yeah. She really left us with something to think about. But I was thinking the is a real telltale for us because that would indicate this is where you use the taka, the pole. So she was inquiring about why there would be a do, but because it's aimed at anybody that wants to use it. Because the way we use do is it's either for a man or a woman. So and the taka is some kind of a long pole. So the name of the place is, this is where you use the pole.
Okay. So would dustakya be one word, you think?
No. Yeah, the whole thing is one word.
Okay. Dustakya. Okay. So the and the is like the place. Is that referring to the place?
Yeah.
Okay. And then yeah, usually means like the place where. Yeah. And And the S must be like Marsha was mentioning that you have a classifier. I liked the way she was talking about that sound. A classifier is basically a sound that comes right before the verb root. So that must be what that is. The S.
Yeah, because I was puzzled because we don't have an ST.
Yeah.
So if you run that together, that's what it sounds like. But it's not. It's yeah, on just
Uh, Adustak.
she left the last vowel just that's the name that she knows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Stuck. I'm just taking notes here. Yeah, she definitely left with us a lot to think about. Okay. Any more questions on that?
I put one in the chat.
Oh, good geez.
Yeah.
Right, that's
Oh,
pinch. I don't know. Just yeah. Let me look at the dictionary. Because what we were thinking for, like, in the word for fork, you have a similar dus kind of sound. So on ut dus at thing a person eats with. And then there's a breakdown of it, which is called a gloss here in the dictionary afterwards, where it shows you each part. And so our verb root in our word is tak, whereas this one for eating is kha. But I have a feeling it's a similar pattern here. This duh, like Shakhsani Keek said, for anyone, like people, and then this S classifier. So I don't know if it would be pinched, skinyata.
They can say it. It's what people can do with it.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
It's what people can do with it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, really good. Um, any more comments or questions on our guest speaker from last Friday, Gunote? Or in general? Okay, so to change things up a little bit, I'm going to introduce a study habit that has been really helpful for me in my language study. It helps me, well, it's a video study, and what it helps me do is increase my listening comprehension, vocabulary. And so, what I recommend for video study is you always want to honor the speaker who's in the recording. You always want to honor their clan, be respectful of clan properties and clan stories. They're not to be repeated without permission. Um, does anyone else want to add anything to that? If not, what I like to do when I'm studying a video is first I'll just play it through for maybe a minute or so, and I'll just sort of sit back and enjoy myself and listen to it. We might listen to this whole recording, and then I'll start going through and listening to it for a little bit at a time and just doing my best to write down what I hear and what I recognize. So for me, it's best to have like a pencil and paper, so that you're not dealing with your keyboard or having issues typing. But let's give it a try. So what we're gonna watch is this recording Chone took of Keuchne, Nora Marks Dowenhauer, She's Llukach Adi, and the name of this story is called Ye Kakwa Khan, Raven and the Deer. And so it's 10 minutes long. I'm going to play the whole video, and before we get started, does anyone have any questions? Okay, here we go.
Ja, Kanajuk.
Ja, Kanajuk aya.
Oh, okay.
Yidataya tuasaku. Isacha achi. Konach away. Tachwasa yak ya. Stikat de yejane that ya hasilko has you katangi. Yidataya had the chunky yan yes away. A yukatangi. Just think it enach aya. Aka away. Stuka hatati konach aya.
Okay.
Gonna cheese plain, please. Gonna cheese. Go air one.
That's hunk over.
Okay.
I joy Tatlasa or Tier Kaiser Hiti. That's quite at Hoshagook. Just a dog's January, you a dunk. Where Tagu. Just at Hosa or Seku. Has kun Kochsanik. The first time I Kochsanik.
Okay.
Yaksha.
Konach gonna cheese. Was just yucatan. Akawe konach kwak
Yeah. Okay. Should go where yes go kan. Our chokodi the Catholic adoxiko yeah kakwaslanik. Chokodi the Jacokin Kodi de Achai. Het was die achshakot schoudinig ko ja ko kan khail dagak konach chakodi de kotsaklanik het was die jachto wacht ja
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Haka kwasani kawata. Ko askshik ke uti ke. Nichroyana gutiel. Nichrana gutitino katusniknut. Akku kag yehat gosagenke. Awa nichroyana gutiel. Awa aya o gutwa kowakan. Kowakan awa aya o gut. Awa tai awa tleachti khos. Kawo tleo show se kawo. Yes. It looked like it's a khos. So he took them and gulped them right away. Konartakun, yes. Joy 18, grocery adunya. Stakat atas kanaslichat haka. Our newt were a socket. Tai ko awa Taqanay uakkut. Tuutishaat. Qannaqayuya taayuquakaan. Kan qallattuutlisa. Akaulliituut. Ja asas. Ja qanar yan uashuuq as. Kanar atanartu atutiyaanaqa. He wanted to go across. So where ate tuatiutia ate ashunqakuutitu assayahe. Aussiku qanaaqwa wa as. Naqqa awayu atawayetu seekh. Chago ase. Wutinaq. Akanaqawak asayahe. Helwasik qaniaqaqaw dayaqa. He is calling them aqiaqaw. Shukatanaqianda qaqut. Akanaqianakut. Qaqqa nalleudiyite. Akanaqaw attanwanaq. Shakuches. You owe akanaqenda qilkutaqaqaw. Ushqatlatin-kut qiyanaqij. Ushqatlatin-kut qia akanaqendayanakutu ta ashuka. Kataqin ashuka. Akanaqute qiyandaqin. Haltaqat tu kutalli akayiwutiwe. Wa qo naqa. Akanaqen uakut. Tatsakoqte. Qoqte akanaqen uakut. Ashuka qinda wa as. Kanaq. Kanaqen gutuya ayawasaqaw tuyaqaw. Kuna aqaqiqaw. Henaqadaqtu atle. Tliaqaqtu atat anite. Akanaqen uakut. Akanaqen gutu tatsu akawallinik. Akanaqen gutu aqiqaw. Hallulti akanaqen gut. Ta akanaqen ake uakutu qawakan. Ta akaqiana guti oetu inuulliq. Wa as naq. Tu inuulliq kitakutsikit. Qaqtaate. Qaqtaaqaw. Tuna. Qawakan. Akhaniyaw gut. Akutli atataqaq. Akutli. Akutli gunak sa ushi qasaqa. Gunak ushi qasaqa. Jazatuqnaqawatlallusti. Atūkana ko au sika. Ka au sikit. E ko ata te ka ko tu kute. Ye o e sa a kute. O au sikit. Ye o siku.
Takwasa goodness cheese.
You're welcome.
Oops, sorry. Oh, so fun. Love that video. So that time you didn't necessarily have to be writing anything down, but did anyone just have a response to watching Nora tell that story, listening? What is it like for you guys?
I always feel like it, first of all, I love seeing my auntie, Nora, and but what I really loved was, she always brings her humor into so many environments, so she makes the stories come alive. Like when she repeats over and over again, making the crying sound and things like, what I mean, things like that. I just love it. She makes the stories be lively.
Yeah, there's a certain cadence to storytelling that I really like. How you mentioned she repeats words, and it helps me kind of remember the story. She was saying, "Ooh, good, skinotla."
I too agree. Storytelling is a fine art. And when we have those that are going to be able to converse in Lingit language and tell stories, we're going to be in a really good place because the stories are just packed full of amazing things. And I love that.
Okay.
One other thing I wanted to say is, like, she keeps the stories simple. I tend to overcomplicate how I make my sentences. But when I think about her and I think about Austin and I think about all the elders that I've known in my life, they tell it simply, and we allows our minds to connect the dots. They don't have to do it with words. It's like, and I think that's why when you hear a story from an elder tell it, it makes you ponder it and think about it over and over again, because they don't tell you everything. They suggest it in your mind.
Okay. That's really beautiful. I'm gonna teach. So let me run this back. I'm gonna mute this ad because it's gonna make us listen to it before I can play it again. But this time, let's see if we can write down a few words of what she says. So this video is transcribed and translated. You can turn on the closed captioning and then the answers are there in Tlingit and English, but for our purpose, we'll play it without looking at those. I won't turn them on. And what you can do is just write down, doing your best, asking your class.
I did have a comment about the video we just listened to. I know that she was talking about Gul Khan, the deer, and I heard references to Yesh, raven, but I also heard her talking about Nok, which for me, I immediately think of octopus. And so it's just the things that went together to become part of the storytelling. There were keywords that I heard. So, good enough, Chish.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. I love that you heard those.
Yeah, an octopus is nah. And the tree she was describing was nah.
Oh.
She had a lot of difficult words in there. but it's also really picturesque. I mean, she sets it up in your mind so that you're kind of imagining that if the deer fell through, it would go all the way down into to its death.
Whoa.
Knuckle is to say that the tree was rotted. He knew it. That's why he wanted to get the deer on there.
Oh, okay.
And Yakau, I thought she was going to explain that, but she didn't. It's Yakau is when you call somebody your partner.
Mm.
Hey, partner, come on, follow me.
Yakau.
Yakau, yeah.
So I'm gonna write some of these down since we already have words that we recognized.
Ganachish, and if you could share the tree name again, please.
Nuck. What did nuck? That means it's rotted. And I know you tend to recognize it as octopus, which is knock.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ganachish.
Okay. So this time I'm gonna split up my screen here and I'll play a little bit of the video and we can just share verbally what words we heard.
Did you want us to share what we've already heard or just as we do it now?
We can do it now. We'll go line by line and folks can kind of
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you already got some down. Okay, so new share, desktop, and share sound. Okay, we're good. I'm gonna go like this. Do you all see my desktop? Okay. And I'm gonna do a copy. Okay. So I'll play probably maybe just a short chunk, 15 or 20 seconds, and then I'll pause it. Anything that you wrote down, just doing your best is good enough. And then after I pause it, you can share with me what words you heard. Are you ready? Okay. Okay.
Yakanajuk.
Yakanajuk aya.
Oh, okay.
Yidataya tuasaku. Isacha achi. Konach away. Tachwasa yak ya. Stikat de yejane data ya hasish go has you katangi. Yidataya had the chunky yan yes away. E yur katangi. Just think it enach aya. Apa away. Stuka hatte te konach aya.
Okay.
Gonna cheese plain, please. Gonna cheese. Go aya one.
That's hunko.
Okay.
I joined the class or to
Okay, anything so far that you wanted to share?
Well, I started with Yakanajuk.
Yakanajuk. Yakanajuk.
That means like it's rolling, is that right?
Is it rolling yet? Recording.
Okay.
And then it says something like Klakwasa Jaya, something about working.
I think he says he says
Yeah.
the work, all your work. So we could do Iyejaneyu. I think that's your word. Iyejaneyu. Skinatla.
I heard him thanking her as well, and he made a reference to Lingit Katungi, just that he wanted to continue speaking in the language.
Lingit Katungi is Lingit language. Okay.
And
Ah.
Hadashkan.
I think he says.
Mm-hmm.
She's thanking him as her grandson.
And then she does. She says, you're my grandchild. And then I think she's saying that's why it's okay that you're writing down what I'm saying or recording what I'm saying.
I should give him permission then.
What about Stuga?
But he was saying this is for the benefit of our grandchildren.
Okay.
I heard Shtuga Chatdati Kunach Aya. And would that be I'm very grateful to you or for you?
I'm very grateful. Really good. You guys are able to capture a lot already. Were there any more words or phrases that popped out to you?
Tuasiku.
He said, I think he says, I want to hear your voice. Okay. Any others? Those are awesome. Okay, should we play another segment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kalqatlaqatqoshaguk. Just adoksa archinaway yotank. Where tagu. Just adkosa archi orsiku. Hel kun kochsanik. The first time we kakwasanik.
Okay.
Yaksha.
Konachek egens cheese. Was just yucatan. Akawe konach kwak
Yeah. Okay. Tushuko where yet ka kowakan. Our chakodi the katulnik adoksiko yayach kakwasanik. Chakodi the chayakukin kakodi the achaye. Halwas utia akshakot shkaudlinig ko ya Kawakan Kayesh.
Okay, any comments, words, phrases we captured?
I heard Che Gugank. Is that
Mhm.
like a little bit?
Kaswasa,
Yeah.
you Kasnik. And there was a lot of like Kosnik and then later Akawa Sanik.
Okay. Yede Dustin, did you have your hand up as well?
I did, but it was for Clefwasa.
Okay, awesome. Yes.
Did I hear the Yeka right at the beginning of that? Was that Raven Man?
Here, maybe. We can certainly write down Raven and Ka. Sometimes when I'm doing this, I'm like, did I hear that? And I'll write it down and then I'll play it again and see if that's what they said. I'll do my spell checking. And just to give you guys an idea, when I do check my spelling for this, I have the dictionary open, and what I'll do is type in, okay, so for example, the first word we did was yes. So I'll open the dictionary and type this in and just enter it in my search bar. And that way I can check, okay, is that how it appears in the dictionary? Does it look right? It's a high tone Y, high tone E-I-L. Okay, we're looking good. Skinyatla.
So it's titled Yesh Ka Guakan, Raven and Deer.
Yeah,
That where the ka might be coming in.
maybe that is why, yeah. So let's put the title here. To check her name. Okay. Any other comments or questions?
She said Akakusanik Yucatan.
Yeah, I'll need to play it again and get the exact spelling because she's such a master speaker that she uses pretty sophisticated verb forms. And I don't have them, like at this point in my learning, I don't have them all dialed in yet. Like I don't have a grasp of how she's using the language. But even that being said, you can still get a lot out of this as a intermediate, beginning, advanced learner, just because there's just so much language there. Okay, should we listen to the next part? All right, here we go. Before we do that, Shaksani, did you want to add anything so far about what we've been writing down or our questions?
No, but I think it's really great that she just inserts English words and no apologies, just it just comes through.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot. And just go right, keep on going.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an art, isn't it, to tell a story? Okay. All right, here we go. Next section.
Чакуудид коцогланик. Халуаса утич аягтуа арч. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Hakakhollanikawata. Koalkshik utikay. Nichroyana gutiel. Nichrana gutitino katulniknut. Akkukar yekat kusakenke. Awa nichroyana gutiel. Awa aya oa gutwa kowakan. Kowakan awa aya oa gut. Awa tai awa tlayachtikhos.
Right, what did we have that time?
Kawasa, Sanik.
She says Keshwasa Uti. And then maybe she says Kakwashanik. So this is an example where I think I heard her say Kakwashanik. Now I want to check if that's correct. So I'm typing in what I think I heard just by spelling Kakwashanik.
Yeah, because I had that same Kawashanik part because I was like, because then she, a couple sentences later again, then she says a Kawashanik,
It's cuck. Cuck.
a cock.
Cuck. I will.
Now I'm this is fun how doing this with Shaksaniki because she can correct what we're hearing. And now we still need to check our spelling before we write it down. Now, as learners, we're going to open up the verb dictionary. And I'm going to look up the verb root neek and expand it and look for the verb that matches what we heard. So we learners heard kakwa, and then Shaksani Kik also added, well, it also starts with ka. So kakwa shanik. Now when I'm looking in the learning resources, I'm looking for that ka that she mentioned. And I'm also looking for a sha. I heard a kshanik. So I'm looking for the version that has a ka and a sha. And here this is looking like it means tell the story of it. So I'm expanding that and scrolling down to this future form. Kakkwashanik. I will tell the story of it. And now we have our correct spelling, and so we can edit our transcription so that we have it right. So I'm just going to copy and paste here, and looks like we were pretty close. We just had a high tone when we didn't need one, maybe. Now I'll add the translation. And this might be kind of more advanced if folks aren't used to this verb resource yet, but I still think you can get something from it. And I just want to help you become familiar with it. And then what about the other phrase we heard? Keshwasa ute. What does that one mean? Kind of like it's okay. And Yede Dustin, you have your hand up?
What I heard was ye gay kunach.
Okay, so that would mean like it's really good. Okay. Looking good, you guys. Are there any more from this short segment that we just listened to?
I heard her say something. Somehow I'm not recalling it. I used to hear it as a child, or this is the way they told me when I was young or something.
Oh, really?
I heard that niche Hoya on a good, and I was wondering about the Hoya, if I heard, like niche Hoya on a good, because she was also talking a lot about like, um, and anyway, a number of times she said, yeah, Yana good, Aya Yana good, Guakan, Aya clayy, like meat, Aya.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, niche Hoya na good yield.
Yeah, Huya, yeah, that's what that was. Yeah, Huya.
And I don't know what that means.
And I don't know that one.
I don't know it either. Hoya na good yield, she said. Maybe among? I'm not sure actually.
I thought Nietzsche was a small hill.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, let's look it up. Because it could also mean beach, couldn't it? Let's see. Beach. Oh, and then there's also, so there's a couple entries of Nietzsche in the dictionary. One of them says always appears after a verb to modify it as always verb. So I wonder if that could be it. And I would say, like, taking what we've done so far now and turning on the captions might be kind of fun to compare what we're hearing with Renee's transcription and translation. Does that sound good, Johan? Okay. Or should we do one more section first? Every time. Okay, I'm gonna replay it, and so that'll give us just enough time to kind of read along at what we wrote and listen to the story from the top. Maybe if there's something where you can't quite recall, but you heard something familiar, now we get to replay it. So I'm gonna turn on the captions. And make it a little bit larger. Oh wait, that will take up the whole screen. One moment. Okay, we'll just do it like this. All right, here we go.
Yeah, kanajuk.
Ya kanajuk aya.
Oh, okay.
Yidataya tuasaku. Isacha achi. Konach away. Kachwasa yakaya ya. Stikate ye jene data ya hasil ko hasyu katangi. Yidataya had the chunky yan yes away. A yur katangi. Just think it kainach aya. Apa away. Stuka hatte te konach aya.
Okay.
Gonna cheese plain, please. Gonna cheese. Go aya one.
That's hunk over.
Okay.
I joined the class out here. I think I should. That's what I got. Just a dog January you tank where cargo. Just a oxico. Hell kun kochsanik. The first time I kochsanik.
Okay.
Yaksha.
Chunach ganas cheese. Gwas just yuchatan. Akawe chunach kwak
Yeah. Okay. Tushuko where yes ka kowakan. Our chakodi the katolik adoxiko yach kakwasanik. Chakodi the chayakukin kodi the achai. Halwas uti achshakot shkodlinig ko ya kowakan kayel dagag konach chakodi the kotsaklanik halwas uti yakto ach yeah.
I'm gonna pause it there because we only have 5 minutes left of class, but did anyone want to add anything after watching it again? Not necessarily phrases or words, but just kind of how was this process for you? How did you feel about it? Did you learn something?
I like the process, and I think it's because if I just read it with the subtitles, I wouldn't force my brain to actually have to think through what I'm hearing, to listen hard enough, and then to try to think about the words, because you start to hear words and they become familiar, but sometimes I know the word, I don't remember. It's like my English mind and my Tlingit mind are in a little fighting.
That's cool though. That's cool to hear that, that process you're going through as you're learning. Skinatla.
Jackie ganas cheese. Aya. I know a few words about describing that we're learning. This is a great tool. Love it.
Okay.
Ganas cheese.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you for sharing.
I really enjoyed the process, picking out the phrases that were familiar, or at least bits of the phrases. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was very helpful.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Cheese. Yes.
I'm really liking the fact of things where you're not picking up, you just go right to the dictionary and look it up and see how it's used, and that's really been helpful. I've been doing it on my own time, just kind of watching little short videos and using that. So yeah, thanks for that. Goodness cheese.
Okay. Well, that helps. Kodiakpa.
Yeah, this is really good. It's exciting when you start to recognize more and more words. So yeah, I'm definitely noticing that there's more words that I'm picking out than I would have been before. So that's exciting.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I love doing this as a group because everyone hears something different. We can collaborate, and having Shaksani keep tell us, no, it was Kakwasanik. it can help close that gap, and together we're all able to increase our listening comprehension.
The way she told the story is with a lot of talk about. I only used to listen to the stories when I was little. And storytelling is an art. And we used to hear the stories. I used to hear a lot of these stories, but I'm not a storyteller like she is. It's so picturesque, wonderful. And I've heard other people, because I've been around that area so much, I can just imagine what it looked like and what they were up against. So, yeah, she was kind of concerned that she's not a storyteller, but I think she really is. And so, really appreciate that.
Okay. Yeah, I had the feel that she was stepping up to the plate to share, so that grandkids can learn the language. But yeah, she was really beautiful. Okay, Johan, well, we'll continue our video study, and we'll continue, working together on increasing our vocabulary and working on things like this. So, Shaksani Kik, did you have any more closing comments or questions?
No, but I think I don't think I've ever heard the story about the deer and the raven before. I've heard quite a few of them that were pretty funny, but not this one. It's
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to watch. We should watch the rest of it in our next class or this week. And just so folks have access to the recording and the document that we worked on, I'll share the link in the chat right now. Copy link. I'm going to put this in the chat, and then I'll also put the video link in the chat. Okay, Johan, well, we're at time, but if you want to continue studying, those links are in the chat for you. And Gunalchi, Shi Ye Janae, Johan, so ye team.